Step Ahead, the Central Asia podcast, with insights from the heart of Eurasia. Step Ahead.
Welcome to the Step Ahead podcast, or should I say, Christos Voskres. Many great Easter times to all of you. I hope that, if you're celebrating or not, if you have been celebrating last week or if you're celebrating today, you have a wonderful time. Happy Easter. Welcome, Thomas and Thorsten.
Thank you. I already bought a kulich. It's waiting in the kitchen to be eaten. So this is the traditional Orthodox Easter cake.
Happy Easter, guys. And Thorsten, I'm very jealous that you found that kulich, because yesterday my goal was also to buy a kulich. My wife, she's Orthodox, so today we're celebrating as well. And in Germany, there's a chain of markets. It's called a mixed market. And they have a lot of Russian food there. They have a lot of Polish food, also a lot of Ukrainian products right now directly imported from Ukraine. So we went there and wanted to buy this kulich as well. Unfortunately, we couldn't buy the kulich. But then we were hunting for some other products. And I, especially with the podcast in mind, I wanted to find some Central Asian products. However, I could find some pelmeni, Ukrainian borscht, check, Romanian ayva, check, Polish sausage, check, but I couldn't find, for example, kumis. And I was really looking forward to some kumis. People that do not know what kumis is, it's fermented horse milk. Couldn't find it. I couldn't find Rachat chocolate, the famous Kazakhstan chocolate, for example. I couldn't find, to be honest, any products from Central Asia, except I could find one product. It was a Chernogolovka Baikal. Maybe you guys know it. It's the Soviet era Coca-Cola. It's a dark brown herbal, a little pine note, and it's made with Siberian ginseng extract, developed in 1969. And then I found it was bottled in Tashkent. So Chernogolovka, the big producer, has a bottle manufactory in Tashkent. But I was shocked generally that this was the only product from Central Asia. I was expecting at least some local products that I could buy there in preparation for today's podcast. But generally speaking, the story of Mixed Markt is extremely fascinating. And it was a totally new world where I entered yesterday. I was even saying hello, it's in German, hello, and nobody was responding to me. Everybody who was visiting this market spoke another language, most of them Russian, some Ukrainian, but it's really like a parallel society. And then I took a deep dive and I found out that they make 1 billion in revenue. It's a huge operation. They have 500 stores across 18 European countries. In Germany, 200 stores they have. In Italy, nearly 80 stores. In Poland, 50 stores. They're also present in Portugal, Spain, Czechia, Belgium, Serbia, Montenegro, Cyprus, Austria, and the UK. And I really hope that in the future, they will not just have the Russian products. They have everything there. They have Baltica beer brewed in St. Petersburg. They have the best sausages from Poland directly imported. They have chocolate from the chocolate Tsar of Ukraine, Pyotr Poroshenko, the Russian chocolate, but nothing from Central Asia. And I really hope that in the future, they will change it. And my question for you guys is, what products from Central Asia should they take into their offers? From my side, I mentioned it already, I need the kumis. I need the real kumis. It could be a little bit difficult to transport it from Central Asia. And maybe there's some health regulation because, it's horse milk, right? It's fermented horse milk. It has some alcohol even, I guess 2%. And I really...
I was surprised.
What?
Because 2 weeks ago, I was drinking kumis for the first time, and I didn't know that it has alcohol. And I felt kind of drunk on this thing.
Yeah. So those are the two products that I really ask Mixed Market. They are very active on social media as well. And maybe we can even tell them, please put some Central Asian representation in your market as well. From my side, it's a kumis. We need some kumis. And we need the Rachat chocolate, the legendary chocolate. It's in the flag, wrapped the flag of Kazakhstan. From my side, those are the two products that I really need. What are products that you would say mixed market should take in their offerings as well from Central Asia?
I think a classical one is the kurt. I'm not quite sure if you heard of this. Probably you have seen it. These are small dough-like
Yes, the most
balls, which are,
saltiest product
usually-
in the world.
Yes, exactly. It's just made out of milk and salt, sometimes kefir, and it's a salty, hard, and very dry ball, I would say. There are other shapes also, usually coming from cow milk or camel milk, and it roots back to the nomad time. So basically, it is a product that is easy to make, and it's super like healthy, and you can use it a lot at a long period of time. So you have to imagine those tribes in Central Asia traveling from one place to another, not having a lot of opportunities to store, and has to be the whole energy has to be packed into one product there. And there's even a very beautiful story behind that I read. It is that during the Gulag time, there were also prisoners in Central Asia, also troops from Germany, for example, and locals were throwing the balls over the fences so that prisoners could eat them. And it took some time to understand that they are not stones, but they are eatable. And I tried them, to be honest. For the European mind, it's hard to comprehend at first. However, I thought after eating 2 or 3 of them, like you're full for several hours. That might be interesting. And as we enter an era of more natural products, I would say, or it's not maybe an era, but more a trend. It's a product just out of milk and salt. Maybe it might be nice to have as a snack and not focus on sweet sugar. Chocolate or something.
Well, I thought of another product. It's called kazi, which is basically a sausage made from horse, and it's also very popular. And I'm a huge fan of lagman. Lagman is technically a Uyghur food, I think, but it's very, very popular in Kazakhstan, and it's noodles. Well, you can say it's like a soup, actually. So with noodles and a very, very, like, it's not a soup, but more like a sauce mixed with meat and tomatoes, and it's incredibly delicious. And I'm not sure if you can buy those noodles in a mixed market. So if not, I think this would also be a very nice addition.
Great. So we have some recommendations for mixed market that they can offer the customers, so they are not so sad as I was when I was looking for Central Asian products. We have the dry balls. What was the name again, Jonas?
Kurt, like the German name Kurt.
Kurt.
K-A-U-R-T.
Kurt. We have the Lachman. What was the other product, Thorsten? One more time.
Kazi, the horse sausage.
The
Kazi.
horse sausage, and we need kumis and racha chocolate. And then we have already some offerings from Central Asia. So mixed market, if you're listening, please add these items to your stores. And Thorsten, you also brought another story, right? About some vehicles.
Exactly. Last episode, I was talking a lot about the car market because a post on Instagram about the car market went completely viral. And I decided to make another edition focused on commercial transport, because it's also a huge topic. And my company, Business Media Central Asia, will organize a large trade fair from 5th to 7th May in Astana. It's called Comtrux, and it's held for the first time ever under the official Messe Frankfurt license. And it's basically focused on commercial transport and on road logistics, which is a big topic, because, as you know, the middle corridor is becoming more and more important, also as an alternative to Russia. And I found some numbers. So the freight volume through the middle corridor, which goes It's like the overland route running through Kazakhstan, Azerbaijan, Georgia, and into Turkey. It grew more than fivefold from 22 until 24. And the World Bank projects that the volumes will triple until 2030 to 11 million tons, which will be transported via the middle corridor. And the biggest share is in Kazakhstan. So 70% of all the land transit between China and Europe goes through Kazakhstan. And the thing is actually, and also maybe important to mention, is that not only China invests a lot into the Belt and Road Initiative because they're interested in investing into Kazakhstan and into its infrastructure, but also the European Union through the Global Gateway Project is investing a lot of money. So they have money from China and from Europe, and which is a big jackpot actually. But the thing is with the truck market, and this is really interesting, the trucks are super old. Like over 41% of all the trucks are older than 20 years old. So there's a huge gap. So soon all of those trucks, we need to renew them. So we need new trucks, we need more trucks. And this is a big opportunity, I think. And last time we already talked about the production volumes. So in 2025, 170,000 vehicles were produced in Kazakhstan. So this includes the passenger cars, but also the commercial vehicles, so the trucks and the buses. And this is a huge increase, 70.8% if you compare it to the previous year. And yeah, these are the official numbers of the Kazakhstan Automobile Union, KAU. And this is actually the best result ever. So the best result in the history of Kazakhstan's automobile industry. And there's a lot of players which are very interested in the market. And actually, and this is information which is secret, so unfortunately I cannot tell you a lot about it, but I know that a huge Chinese truck producer is planning a massive investment in Kazakhstan into production, and this will be announced very soon. But not only China is interested in Kazakhstan, and maybe this is the last thing I would like to mention. On the Comtrux show in Astana, we will have a huge Uzbekistan pavilion, national pavilion, for the first time ever. So 5 big producers from Uzbekistan will show their trucks and their trailers, etc. And the thing is that if you look at the car production, the vehicle production in Kazakhstan and compare it to Uzbekistan, you will understand that Uzbekistan is much, much, much bigger. So in Uzbekistan in 2025, there were produced 517,000 vehicles, and in Kazakhstan just 171,000. So it's more than like three times more than in Kazakhstan. This has historical reasons, basically connected to the former president of Uzbekistan, Islam Karimov, who and connected to this whole story with General Motors and the General Motors Daewoo joint venture. So there was actually a huge ecosystem built around this joint venture over the decades. And today the company called Uzauto Motors is basically the successor of GM Uzbekistan, and it kind of dominates the market. And it's a very huge player, and Uzauto Motors will also be represented at the Comtrux show. But the most interesting thing, I think, is the company called Sam Auto. And Sam Auto, it's not as big as Uzauto, but it's very important because it has been privatized in December 2025. A Turkish company called Anadolu Isuzu bought it. And I think Isuzu, it means that also there's some Japanese partners involved into this whole thing. And yes, they have been privatized, and they are focused on the production of large buses, for example. And they already have a lot of their products in southern Kazakhstan, in Chimkent, for example, in Almaty. You see a lot of them. Here in Astana, not so much. But who knows? Maybe it's going to change. And it's interesting to watch because it seems there's this competition between Kazakhstan and Uzbekistan. It's right now it's a very friendly competition, like a brotherly competition, but definitely there is a competition, and I think it's going to be very interesting to watch how this will evolve in the next years.
Yes, I can surely agree with that. The question is, of course, in the end, will maybe one of them be more like a supplier, and with the other way, producer? For example, we have a very similar relation from Germany to most of the Visegrad countries, so the post-socialist countries to the east, Czech Republic, Slovakia, Hungary, and Poland, which also participated a lot in this supply chain. Yeah, but let's see. But what you just mentioned, Thorsten, is very interesting. So I see also in my professional life a big increase in requests regarding the middle corridor. I think we already mentioned what this is, but I will just repeat it one more time. So basically, it's the middle connection between Europe and China. The northern route goes through Russia. The southern route goes through, I would say, Iran and India. As you can see, those are very conflicted areas at the moment. So also there's, of course, an opportunity to use the shipway, but this takes usually much longer and is also not like risk-free. So that's why the middle corridor is growing in importance, and it goes basically, let's start from Europe. You start in Turkey through like to Georgia, Armenia, Azerbaijan. Take the ship over to mostly Kazakhstan to Atirau or to Turkmenistan, and then go through all the Central Asian countries to China. And that is why it is so prominent. And I have a request currently also about a logistics company asking about like what is currently going on there, like and we provide some data. So this is actually I think not just on the screen of Chinese or Eastern companies, but also of Western ones. And because there's a whole new industry coming up, not just trucks, but everything around it, the maintenance, also the gas stations, for example, the streets that are built. So I think there's a huge potential right now growing, despite, and this is maybe important to say, most of the analysts say that the middle corridor is very nice as an alternative way, but the shorter ones usually go through Russia, or the longer one, but less risks over the sea. Yeah, but anyway.
Yes, exactly. So there's huge opportunities, and as you said, not just trucks, but everything connected to it. And like if we go even further, also everything regarding heavy machinery in general. For example, for construction, for example, there's a big project in Atirau, in the Atirau region in Kazakhstan. And there's a company, Sileno, which will be the operator of a huge polyethylene production project. And there's a partnership now with Carl Schmidt Spedition. So it's basically what you call a hidden champion German Mittelstand company, which will be involved into this project, and it's a multi-billion project. Yeah, so this is a huge project with a plant capacity of like 1.25 million tons per year, and investments exceeding $7 billion. And this is actually a huge opportunity for German companies, for this typical German Mittelstand, which can profit already today, because there's so much rare earths, minerals, which are not even explored yet. So this is exactly where German companies, with their good organization and their experience, their years-long experience, can benefit from.
Yeah, super interesting. So usually transportation is used for logistics for companies, but also it is important when it comes to moving people for passengers. And so we want to go to the next topic for today. Finally, we are very proud that Thomas will present us some more information about the tourism in Central Asia.
Yeah, I'm very happy that today I can share the numbers regarding tourism, and I can talk a little bit about the Caspian Riviera. I teased this topic already some episodes ago, but then I was incommunicado. The next episode, I was moving, so that's why the topic was never addressed heads on. But today we can do it. And the big numbers first I want to share, because 2025 was a record year for tourism in Central Asia. The leader is Kazakhstan. So we had 12.1 million foreign visitors. Those are the numbers from January to September 2025. And therefore, Kazakhstan is leading. Uzbekistan is the second country in Central Asia. They had 10.7 million foreign tourists, and this is an all-time record. It's nearly 50% more than in 2024. And even when we compare it with the levels of 2019, pre-COVID, this is an increase of more than 70%. The United Nations World Travel Organization ranked Uzbekistan among the 7 fastest growing destinations, not just in the former Soviet Union, not just in Eastern Europe, worldwide. Then another country that should be mentioned is Kyrgyzstan, commonly called by tourists the Switzerland of Central Asia because of its mountainous terrain. And they had 5 million foreign visitors in the first half of 2025 alone. And 2025, probably they will have more than 10 million visitors as well. So those are the numbers, big numbers, but they need some context. And we have the 90% problem. We call it 90% because of these millions of visitors, 90% are tourists from Central Asia, right? Those are tourists coming from other Central Asian countries. And when we look, for example, at the leader, Uzbekistan, where are the tourists coming from? They're coming from Kyrgyzstan, more than 3 million. They're coming from Kazakhstan, 2.5 million. And they're coming from Tajikistan, 2.5 million. When we look at the, let's call them the real tourists from outside the region, who's leading there? It's China, and China is really increasing tourists to Central Asia. In 2025, around 250,000 Chinese were coming. Turkey is also big, 150K. India, surprisingly, had a lot of visitors to the region, nearly 70K. And South Korea, also a country that I wasn't expecting to be in the top countries of visitors to Central Asia, more than 40K. So you see the headline numbers are really big, millions of visitors. But when you look at the Western and East Asian tourists, the tourists that the countries really want to attract, the tourist share is relatively small, but increasing. So when we look at Uzbekistan, how important is tourism? It contributes around 3.5 to the GDP of Uzbekistan. The government target is 7% by 2030. So only in 4 years, they want to double it. And later we will take a look also at the tourist infrastructure that is built right now in Uzbekistan. And we have some numbers from an insider regarding the hotels, hotel chains that want to expand, that want to open shop in Uzbekistan as well. When we look at Kyrgyzstan, tourism is even more important for Kyrgyzstan than for Uzbekistan, because nearly 4.5% of GDP is coming from tourism. They earned more than 1 billion in tourism in 2025. And Kazakhstan, they really have an investment surge regarding tourism. Nearly 2 billion was spent alone from January to October 2025. And when you look at the hotel revenue, it's more than 500,000 as well in Kazakhstan. So Kazakhstan has a target of 50 million visitors and 10 billion in tourism revenue by 2029. Those are huge numbers, huge goals, very ambitious projects in Kazakhstan as well. The market itself, when we compare all of it in Central Asia, is growing by around 7%, 8% per year. And this growth will result in around 2.5 billion in the market in the next years already. The direct GDP contribution is projected to also grow and will reach many billions in the next years as well. So what are some of the tourism cities? And there I wanted also your opinions. I made a ranking of the cities that I would say are the tourism drivers. Number one has to be Samarkand, in my opinion. It's UNESCO World Heritage. This is where the international tourists really want to go. Bukhara might be number two, a little bit more intimate than Samarkand. And then I wasn't sure what is the third place in my ranking, but I believe it might be Almaty. It's Kazakhstan's largest city. It's also beautiful nature-wise. And then Isyk has to be mentioned as well in Kyrgyzstan, the lake. Your opinion, what city did I miss? What are some hidden spots in Central Asia that people should visit as well?
I've had an interesting experience. Maybe just let me share this. The last time I flew to Kazakhstan, to Almaty, I was sitting next to an older couple from Canada traveling to Kazakhstan. And I asked them, okay, wow, you came all the way first. They were in Europe, and then they traveled further to Kazakhstan. Why Kazakhstan? Like from Canada, it's such a long travel, and you can just maybe go to other places. They said they have been before, as you just mentioned, to Uzbekistan, and they were so surprised. They were so falling in love. Also with Tashkent, not just Bukhara and Samarkand, but also Tashkent. They liked a lot, and that's why they decided to come to Almaty and then travel from there by car to Isyk. So it's the big lake in Kyrgyzstan, and from there to Bishkek. So they were looking at more the eastern part of Central Asia. So I think because they are also closer connected, it's still, I think it's a 4-hour drive from Almaty to Bishkek, so it's quite doable. It's you don't have to take the plane, and you have to maybe wait a little bit at the border. But I think this is something you can easily combine. However, for example, Astana, in my opinion, is might be worth visiting, but it's pretty far away still from Almaty and from the more southern regions. And also, there are some countries, especially Tajikistan and Turkmenistan, that might be locked for different reasons for tourists.
Yeah, and maybe we should not forget to mention Khiva, which is also one of the most beautiful places in Central Asia. It actually looks like you're traveling back to the old Silk Road times, and it's also part of the UNESCO World Heritage Site. And I would like to mention two spots which many people in the West don't know about, actually, and they're also near Almaty. So Almaty, and I agree with you, Almaty is a very, very interesting place with crazy traffic and not the best air, to be honest. But it's a very actually European place, because it's one of those places where you can go outside and just take a walk, and go to a cafe and go to a interesting shops. So there's actually this real culture of going outside and walking on the street, which you don't have, for example, in Tashkent. They really love the cars, and right now the infrastructure is not so great, actually. And if you want to go to take a walk, you have to go to the park, for example. Like it's not so common to just take a walk, because depending on where you are in the city, it can be also quite dangerous. Yeah. So, but let me maybe tell you about those two places, and maybe you've heard about them, actually. So have you heard about the Lake Balkhash near Almaty? So it's about 400 kilometers ride from Almaty to the southeast, and it's a huge lake. And the interesting thing is that one is salty water, one part is salty water, and the other part is not salty. So this is completely crazy, actually. And the water doesn't mix. So yes, so fresh and salt water cut in half in the middle, and it's actually a huge lake. So it's 605 kilometers long, so which is basically the distance from Berlin to Paris. So this is completely crazy, and it's near China. So yes, so there's a basically glacial meltwater from China traveling across the borders, and then it's splitting into two different types of water in one lake. And this is, I think, is completely crazy. And not so far from this lake, there is basically the Grand Canyon of Kazakhstan. It's called Charin Canyon, and it really looks like the Grand Canyon in the USA with this sand sculpted red sandstone into different shapes, like orange, brown shapes, and it's amazingly beautiful. It also stretches over 50 kilometers with really like depths of up to 350 meters. Completely amazing. Yeah, and a lot of different rare plants which you can find there. So those are things, the two spots which are completely underestimated and which many people in the West actually don't know about. Of course, in Kazakhstan, people know about it, but many visitors, they just focus on, let's say, Almaty or Astana or Tashkent. But actually, if you sit in the car and drive for like 3, 4, 5 hours from Almaty, you're able to see amazing things, and it's totally worth it.
Yeah, it's great that you mentioned the canyons as well, because Euronews, they called it walking on Mars. It's really a special landscape, alien landscape, you could even call it. And the Caspian Riviera, it wasn't mentioned by anyone so far, but this is a huge bet that the Kazakh government is making. And we're talking about the area around Aktau at the Caspian Sea coast. And there they want to build 25 kilometers of sandy beaches south of Aktau. It's being developed into a modern resort town. The investor, interestingly, is Azerbaijani businessman Emin Agalarov. He's also very famous because he had a good relation with Donald Trump, with the beauty pageants. And he's also very famous in Russia as a singer, for example. And he's the head of the Crocus group. Unfortunately, there was this terror attack against Crocus as well.
It's a shopping mall in Moscow, right?
It's a shopping mall, and also it was not just a shopping mall, but it was a concert stage, which was attacked in 2024. But it's a huge operation that Emin Agalarov has going on, also in Azerbaijan itself. So he's developing there. The sea coast, and he also wants to do it in the Mangistau region around Aktau. There's huge investment. We're talking about hundreds of millions of dollars that is invested, and the Caspian Riviera, maybe it can compete with the Black Sea Riviera in the future. Maybe even some Western tourists that are now going to Bulgaria, maybe in the future, who knows? They might want to go to the region Mangistau around Aktau, the city of Aktau. One very important topic that we didn't talk about yet is the hotel boom that we see in Tashkent right now. And we, from Eastern Economy, Ostwirtschaft in German, we have an insider that gave us information about hotel plans in Tashkent in the next years from 2026 to 2028. And it's stunning. More than 20 new international hotel brands want to open their branches in Tashkent. So we have economy hotels from Ibis to ultra luxury. Ritz-Carlton, guys, is coming to Tashkent. Other brands that are coming: Swissôtel, JW Marriott, Le Méridien, Ramada Plaza, DoubleTree by Hilton, Hilton Garden Inn, Ibis, Mövenpick, Holiday Inn Express, Radisson. I could go on and on like that. And I want to focus on the Ritz-Carlton because it's a mega project. $200 million will be invested. The foundation is completed, or it's not, maybe it's completed right now. It was started in May 2025. But the Ritz-Carlton will be Uzbekistan's first ultra-luxury hotel. 31 stories tall, a skyscraper is being built. 140 rooms and suites. 3 dining venues will be there, offering different cuisines, Asian, European cuisines. And again, the project is financed by the Pasha Holding. Azerbaijan connection is coming in. So we have a lot of these tourist developments in Kazakhstan. And when we dive a little bit deeper into the financials behind it, it's Azerbaijani investments. So we have to take a closer look, maybe between the relationship between Azerbaijan and Kazakhstan in the future. But yeah, this is the deep dive regarding tourism, and especially the hotel boom in Tashkent is really something else. Tashkent was already mentioned as one of the cities that people travel already nowadays to, but in the future it will become much more important as a business hub, even as the regional business hub, probably in the future when we look at the investments that are planned at the moment.
Yeah, the quality is really high. So I really love the Intercontinental Hotel in Tashkent, which is next to the Trillion Tower. It's actually the business tower where our company, BMCA, the official Messe Frankfurt representative, they have their office there. And next to the Trillion Tower, there's the Interconti. And I'm not sure now when it was built. I think 23 or 24. It's super new, and it's an amazing hotel with this huge infinity pool. It's really nice to stay there. But one thing which really came to my mind is that it's crazy expensive. Like the last time I checked, you pay like 350 or 400 euro per night, and the restaurant, the prices are also like they're basically higher than in Paris. And this is something which really is interesting, because in Uzbekistan it's really cheap. So actually you can get like the best food on earth for like €1 and eat plov and enjoy it and great food. But then there's this luxury category, and I guess because there's not so many competitors yet, they are super highly priced. That's totally crazy. So maybe with more competitors, it will be more affordable to sleep in luxury hotels than right now.
So guys, question to you: where should your next travel inside of Central Asia go? Or tell me, where's your like dream destination? I'll give you some time to think about that, because something that we haven't mentioned but still is on my like wish list. I would like to visit the White City, Ashgabat. It is currently still rather difficult to access Turkmenistan. With regards to visa, you must like go in group travel and so on. You're not as independent in your traveling plans as maybe in other places. And I had the big wish. I wanted to like fly to Baku, to Azerbaijan, and then take the ferry over to Turkmenistan. But there we still have a lot of like room for development, because they say that the ships can be delayed for almost 1 week. So
Yeah, and I've also heard some guys from the UK. They tried to enter Turkmenistan, and actually they did everything which you have to do in order to enter the country, but still they were rejected. So they had to go back. And one thing I'm really excited about today, actually, I will meet a journalist from a big media holding, and he was just recently in Ashgabat, and he will tell me more about it, and maybe in the next episode we can get some insider infos about Ashgabat. Maybe if he agrees, he will even join the podcast. So I will definitely ask him, and if not, then I will retell what he experienced. So this is going to be really interesting, I think, in the next episode.
So we can all agree that one of our dream destinations is Ashgabat, the White City. For me, another one is Isikul, but Ashgabat, I have to say, is number one also for me.
what about you, Thorsten?
Well, yes, I agree. And I've also heard that Kyrgyzstan is really worth a visit. To be honest, I've never been to Bishkek. And I've also heard that the nature is very, very interesting, and the mountains. So I really would like to visit Kyrgyzstan, because I haven't visited it yet, and I think it's about time.
All right, that would be enough for our traveling dreams and plans. So let's dive into that. Thank you very much, guys, for an interesting episode. We talked about Easter. We talked about the products that are still missing in Europe from Central Asia. We talked about the car market one more time, especially when it comes to commercial trucks. And finally, Thomas gave us some insights about the tourism sector. So thank you very much. If you have any ideas, any feedback, give us a comment or a like. Thank you very much and have a nice day.
Thank you very much. Happy Easter, guys.
Happy Easter.